What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of the best team in FIFA. I'm going to definitely be bringing out the best team in FIFA a little bit more. I just need to play with different teams now. You know what I mean? We're at that stage in FIFA. Anyway, if you missed the last best team in FIFA, a link to the playlist will be down below. If you don't know what the best team in FIFA is, it's where I take your guys' favourite teams, play with them myself and give my opinion on them. If you could drop a thumbs up on the video, it would be much appreciated. And of course, if you guys want any PSN or MSP codes, link to G2A is in the description below. So today I've got a team from Twitter. I completely forgot to favourite the tweet that had the link to the team. So if it's your team, first of all, you'll recognise it and thank you for sending it in. And secondly, the foothead link is /4327-004. So if you're the one that sent me that tweet with that foothead squad link, thank you. It's difficult right now to take to get the right team for this. You know, you've got to like it's got to be a team that is good, fun to play with, relatively price respectful. It's got to be, you know, you've got to understand whether or not the people that might be watching this video to use the team will have the means to get the players. If it has SBC cards in it, do they have that SBC card or not? You know, I don't want to like put out a sick team and be like, this team is amazing, and then someone turn around and be like, wow, I didn't do the SBC Son, for example, so I can't use this team. Like that, you know, that isn't the aim. But also, it's got to be like a usable team and a good-looking team for like foot champs and stuff, because I don't want to like take the team of somebody who's like Division 9 and saying, oh, this is the best team ever, and then someone rocks it in like foot champs and ends up getting stomped. That would be horrendous too. However, there's a lot of the same or very, very similar teams out there because of how OP very specific players are. So with that in mind, I've tried to go for a team that has a few unique players in amongst the very common players, and that will probably be the theme going forward. So to start with, we've got everybody's favourite goalkeeper in the way of Jack Butland. You know you love him, you know you also hate him. You love him when you use him, you hate him when you face him. But Jack Butland there is going in goal. In at the right back slot, guys, the first player in defence is going to be Florenzi. Not his inform or anything like that, just his regular base card. It's a very, very good card. High, medium, 5'8", 3-star, 3-star, traditional fullback settings there, right? But he's got an incredibly well-rounded card. Good pace, good dribbling, shooting and passing. In fact, he's probably got, like, if you could put him at centre mid, he'll probably be a better player for you. But he's a really good fullback. I've put the anchor chemistry style on him to go in there. And then in at the first centre-back is going to be the Manolas. There we go. So, again, usually I go Shadow as like a definitive chem style on my defenders. But because Manolas already has so much pace and so much defending, I feel like an anchor for him is probably more beneficial. Medium-high work rate, 6'2", fits perfectly with the next common beast that we're going to see at centre-back, which, of course, is Chris Smalling. Chris Smalling coming in, 77 pace, 84 defending, 84 physical. Now, I do place Shadow on him. As you can see, the person before me, 353 games before selling him on, so well done for playing that many. I wonder who he got instead of Smalling, or if he potentially packed one that he had previously bought and wanted a first owner. I don't know. But there is the kind of the bulk of the defence, and when you see Smalling at left centre back, you know who's going at left back, and it's going to be Luke Shaw. And a player that I've used a lot. I'm not overly keen on him personally myself. I prefer Clichy, I prefer Azpilicueta, mainly because they have medium work rates at the left back slot. But Luke Shaw with a shadow card is a beast, high medium, 6'1". He's a really good player, and of course Chris Smalling, 6'4", medium high. So having medium high work rates on both centre backs is absolutely imperative. This defence, now if you do send to the best team in FIFA and you have specific instructions for the team, custom tactics, player instructions, in-game formation swaps, make sure you let me know what they are when you send me the team so that I can do them as well. Because if this team was sent in and this opponent or this player ends up switching to a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, I obviously don't know that, so I wouldn't be able to do that in the team. But there is a defence, and as per usual for me personally, my player instructions, I'm just going to set the fullbacks to stay back while attacking, even though they don't really heed to the rules there. But that will set everyone to stay back while attacking, and everyone's on normal interception. So the first midfielder for us, guys, is actually going to be Inform Thiago, one player that we don't see often. 5-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot, Although he has pretty poor defending and physical stats, his medium work rates means that he'll probably be the offensive midfielder of the three. Nice pace, really well-rounded stats outside of that. Great dribbling and passing, good shooting, and we put an engine on him to boost that pace, boost that dribbling, and boost that passing. In my experience, midfielders are best suited with either engine or shadow. I don't particularly go for Hunter or Hawk or anything like that. A lot of people use Maestro. I'm not a huge fan of the Maestro chem style. I agree it boosts a lot of stats, but I feel like it boosts the stats in game that just aren't important to the players. So we have Thiago there in midfield, and on the right hand side, you could probably guess who the right hand side midfielder is simply through the two Roma players already in there, and it is of course the regular version of Nainggolan. So another incredible midfielder, high work rate midfielder. These guys just typically are beasts, and you can see again, I've got engine chem style on him. Boost that pace and dribbling, boost that passing. His defending and physical is already unreal. His shooting's very good as well. He gives all the strong links needed in this right hand side. And then in the left hand side, the third centre midfielder is going to be your main man, Renato Sanchez. That is right. I haven't used him much this year. In fact, this card might still be fresh. It is. I've never used him this year. I've used him on my road to glory a fair few times, but he's a dude that's 78 rated, right? But look at those stats. 82 pace, 84 physical, and then well-rounded in all the other areas. Once again, I've got an anchor chem style on him. Not an engine and not a shadow, simply because I want to boost the physical as well to get his aggression up. If I remember correctly, his aggression is pretty low. Let's get Renato Sanchez in another window here. Sorry, his strength is pretty low, not his aggression. His aggression is 90, it's his strength that's pretty low, and it lets down his whole physical set. So once we put the anchor card on him, he goes up to 89 pace, 81 defending, and 91 physical, which is just awesome. You know, he's just an absolute monster. He doesn't stop running. He's got 93 stamina. He literally, with that high work rates, he's just up and down, up and down, up and down. So with him and Nainggolan in this team, you're going to expect big things in the midfield, allowing the freedom for Thiago. Now, to set up these player instructions, I actually will be doing nothing on these ones. The reason why I'll be doing nothing on these is because I want to let their work rates speak for themselves. It might be a case where the highs are constantly caught out of position, in which case we will then switch them to stay back while attacking, but in the meantime we won't be. Now at right forward, we've got the only player on the team that doesn't get full chem naturally. It is Dembele. He doesn't get a strong link anywhere, and he only gets 2 soft links, so he'll only get 8 chemistry after 10 games, and in my instance 7 chemistry after, like, you know, under 10 games. But this Dembele card is incredible. I've given him Sniper. Some people might want to go for more pace on him, but I think 88 pace is okay. And the reason why I've given him Sniper is because his shooting stats are 82, which looks quite low, but the reason why it's so low is because his volleys and his penalties are in the 70s, as are his long shots. When you apply Sniper to him, it boosts his positioning and his finishing all the way up to 94 positioning and 99 finishing, which I believe personally are the most important 2 stats on the player. Shot power, long shots, volleys and penalties, I don't believe are that relevant. So I always try and boost positioning and finishing. On top of that, I gave him the one that gives dribbling instead of passing. Like, we could have given him the one that boosts shooting and passing, or shooting and something else. But I gave him Sniper because I believe this will be the best thing for him. Because boosting his dribbling boosts his agility and his balance and his reactions, which obviously, as we know, makes the player feel faster compared to the pace that they truly have. And although he's got 88 pace, he actually has 89 sprint speed, but he also has 85 stamina, a 5-star weak foot, and 4-star skill moves. So even on 8 chemistry, he's still going to be absolutely unreal. And at left forward, again, somebody that you wouldn't expect. Some people would see this team so far and probably think you've got Ribéry there. Obviously, you've got Ribéry there. We don't have Ribéry here. We actually have Kingsley Coman here. I've also given Kingsley Coman the Sniper card. Again, just showing you, I believe that the boost in those attributes is more important than anything else. And he, again, already has blistering pace. You don't need to improve 93 pace unless you're desperately hungry for those extra pace points. You're not going to notice the difference really between a 93 and a 99 pace player, especially again in the instance of Coman, where I believe he has more. Wait, why am I struggling to find Coman on Foothead? There we go. I believe he has more pace, sprint speed. Yeah, so sprint speed is 93 and acceleration is 94. If you apply a Hawk on him, you're wasting stats in physical that doesn't make any difference. If you apply Hunter on him, you're wasting stats in pace. So again, I give him the Sniper Chem style. It boosts his positioning up to 85, his finishing up to 91, and his dribbling all the way up to 93 overall. For me, makes him an absolutely worldy kind of card, along with the fact that he has also 4-star skill moves. And then one of the key factors as to why I picked this team specifically is because of the striker. And it is Wissam Ben Yedder. This guy gets raved about. I've never played with him. I've never used him, not found him in draft, not used him in weekend league. High work rates, which is a huge problem for a lot of people, but me, not so much. I use Heung-min Son. I love him. I use Lacazette. I love him. Musa was effective for us in the best team in FIFA. So it's not a big problem him having high work rates. But his card is just retardedly good. 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves. You know, in line with the 4-star across the whole board up front. 5-star weak foot for him. We've got a 5-star weak foot for Dembele. These guys are going to be deadly. Every time I've faced Ben Yedder, he has caused me problems. So I'm looking forward to actually using him and seeing how he works. Now the the player instructions for these dudes, I'm going to set Coman, stay central, get in behind. Stay central, get in behind. And because of his high work rates, I'm going to have him also staying central and getting in behind because I want him to stay up front. I don't want him to drop back. In terms of custom tactics, like the actual tactics, everything is default. I set this to cover, and I'm going to be bringing the width down of this team just down a little bit. The reason why is because from my experience so far, the team width, like when I bring it in, because it's quite a narrow formation, it kind of brings in my centre backs and my full backs a bit more inside and doesn't allow people to get in behind if I've screwed up in the midfield. It does mean that I'm vulnerable down the wings. But because of how bad crossing is in this FIFA, it's not really a big issue. So for this team right here specifically, I've been testing this out on my Road to Glory account. I bring the team width down, pressure and aggression I remain the same, shooting, crossing, everything remains the same, defender line to cover, team width to 30. This is the team. I'm going to be taking this in Division 1. The person that sent in the team didn't leave anyone on the bench, so I didn't know who to put on the bench, right? So what I've done is I've just picked players of very, not like their SBC cards, sure, but none of them are like outstanding players that it's going to be like, I could have 99 Ronaldo on here and be like, oh, look at him, let's just bring him on and change the game. But like, we've got some good players, some good backup players for each position, a good CDM, a good fullback, or again, midfielder. We've got Heung-min Son that everyone seems to have anyway, Insigne, De Rossi, Gamero, like just a pretty average bench. Doesn't have to, you guys can put on the bench whoever you've got to hand, whoever you use, and this is who I feel like this is a representative bench of the team that we've got. But this, guys, will be the team. Let's get into the gameplay. Okay, guys, as we get into the gameplay, the first opponent we come up against has got a 183 team. By standards of FIFA at this stage, it's actually a pretty generic team. It's got some key players in it. Sanchez and Sturridge, both great. Toure, Eriksen, Dembele, fantastic. Smalling is great. Unsure personally on Otamendi, but Walker, Shaw and Butland are perfect. And again, I'm unsure on Sané. And bear in mind, we're playing in Division 1 with this team. This is a team I've never used before, some players that I've never used before. I was intrigued as to how it might fare up in the top division, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Now, the total value of this team on PlayStation is currently 470,000 coins, and on Xbox is currently 330,000 coins. I don't know why the huge price disparity. The four most expensive players, or the only four expensive players really, is Informed Dembele at 163k, Ben Yedder at 43k, Nainggolan at 47k, and Thiago at 58k. Bearing in mind, three of those informs there, so you could quite easily trade them for their regular cards. Not that I would recommend it, because they were actually fantastic. The rest of the team is negligible in value. Butland's 1,200 coins, Florenzi's 1,600, Manolas is 1,900, Shaw is 2,000, Smalling is 8,000, Renato Sanchez is 1,300, and Kingsley Coman up at 900 coins. So the bulk of the team is super cheap. What did I like about this team? The defense was just outstanding. I didn't concede a single goal in all of the games that we're going to be seeing here today. I got a 3-0 rage quit in the first game, 63 minutes in. My opponent didn't have much by way of possession, couldn't really create any chances. And that's testament to the two centre-backs, crazy pace between them, especially due to the fact that we've got a shadow on Smalling and an anchor on Manolas. Second team we come up against is a really nice team, a 185. You know, obviously a hugely Juventus-based team with that inform Icardi, the inform Handanovic, and the name Golan in the midfield. The rest of the team being Juventus players, but it's still a really, really strong team. And again, this is in Division 1. It's not like I'm sitting here in Division 10 coming up against people, just pumping them and saying, this team's great. This is me coming up against the best possible opponents I can at this stage in the game while Foot Champs isn't around, and pumping them instead. Koeman was decent. I really was enjoying him. I was impressed by him. You know, I took it under my own kind of consideration to give the chem styles that I felt best suited these players, and giving Sniper to Koeman and Dembele was absolutely vital. You know, the pace is there for them, especially because their dribbling is quite high, and because the chem styles we put on them boost their dribbling so heavily as well. The pace wasn't a factor, you know. I played like really good, clean FIFA with this team, and I was very, very happy with it. There was two problems I found with this team. One that I knew I was going to have, and one that I was unsure a little bit about what I would have. The first problem is Thiago. Let me see if we can get him up on the screen. Thiago's stamina is 73, and this is his inform. So he's got medium work rates, which works slightly in his favour, but he is always tired by the back end of the game. I didn't make any subs either, as we got another 3-0 rage quit there and move into the third game. I didn't make any subs through these, but in the third game, guys, we'll come up against a 184, 90 Sanchez, 88 Kane, the brand new man of the match Son. He's got SBC Chadley, that is a great card. Also, it doesn't have the dynamic image on there, which is pretty weird, on any of those actually. And also he has the red Bolassi, meaning he's done decent in Foot Champs at least to get a red card, which is through gold minimum, potentially elite, where he got unlucky with his packs. But in general, you know, this is another really good team, another tough opponent. Great work there to get the ball to Dembele, who shoots and scores. But looking back at this team, so the two biggest problems are the fact that, first of all, Thiago doesn't have the stamina. So I would actually be interested in taking Thiago out and putting somebody else in. I don't know who we could put in there to give Koeman and... Well, Koeman actually already has the links. I don't know who would put in there to give... you know what I'd probably do? I'd probably put like... I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. I don't know what I'd do, but I would change Thiago if I could. Just because, although his 5-star skills are nice, he ended up scoring 2 goals for me in the 4 games. Generally speaking, he's going to be a liability at one stage or another. The other downfall that I've had, ever since I've been using Ibra up front, I've found that having a tall striker in the attack is quite often quite important, especially in a one-striker formation. And the reason for that is because when you play the ball from your goal kick or your opponent's goal kick, or free kicks or whatever, he's going to win that header. Specifically from your own goal kick. Like if you kick the ball up to your attacker, he can nod it down in this formation to any of the 2 forwards, and then you've got yourself pretty much a 3-on-4 attack in an instant. The problem with Ben Yedder was he's just too small. He was unable to win those headers, and it genuinely changed how I was forced to play by not being able to give a giant goal kick out, but instead having to play my goal kick short, or just, you know, chip it out to the wing and play out from the back, which for a lot of people might be decent as we come up against our 4th and final opponent, but for me, I make more mistakes when trying to play out of the back than at any other time in FIFA. So that's hence the reason I like the target man up top that I can send the ball to, get hold of possession up the field and feel a little bit safer. So I would say that I would be interested to change Ben Yedder, as good as he was, because he was nice to play with. I think he got 3 goals and 2 assists in the games. What a goal that is from Koeman, by the way. What a goal. Yeah, it was good to play with. It was fun to play with. And he's cheap, you know, at 50,000 coins, you are getting your money's worth, or even like close down to 40,000 coins. You are getting your money's worth, 100%. But I would change Ben Yedder, probably for Griezmann. I don't know how tall Griezmann is. I'm probably going to make a mistake here and think that Griezmann's a bit taller, and he probably isn't. But I would potentially go with Griezmann over Ben Yedder, and I would just change out Thiago for whoever, like, I don't know, Vidal, maybe. I'd go for Vidal where possible. You could probably sell Thiago and afford Vidal, so that's what I would do with this team. However, what I will say is the one man that shouldn't have been as good as he was Dembele. The dude had 7 chemistry for me. You know, you'd be able to get him up to 8 chemistry with loyalty, and that was the lowest chem on the team. But he was the best player by far. You know, 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves. His work rates just seemed to be perfect. His positioning was phenomenal. He just done a lot in this team. He scored the most goals. I think he got 7 goals and 3 assists in the 4 games. Just outstanding from the guy. You know, Nick raves about Dembele. He's not someone that I've particularly used on my road to glory. So, you know, one of the reasons why I picked this team was to have a good run with him and see how he plays. And I was massively impressed. And if he does get an upgrade, come the winter upgrades, that 84 card is going to become an 85, an 86, maybe an 87 rated card, and is just going to be god tier. So with that in mind, I may well be going and picking him up on my road to glory at 163,000 coins, because if he does get an upgrade, he'll undoubtedly go up over 200, 300,000, and he'll be amazing. So the team, guys, 4 wins in a row. You can see the Division 1 there. We started off with 2 wins already in D1. We finished with 6 wins, so I didn't take this to online singles or anything like that. It was 4 Division 1 games in a row. No games missed out, no games left out. You know, I know some people would believe that, like, YouTubers like to pick the footage that suits them. I show you everything, you know. I showed you actually absolutely everything here. We didn't concede a single goal in all 4 games. We dominated all 4 games. 2 3-0 rage quits and 2 4-0 victories. It wasn't like they were scraping wins. This team is genuinely brilliant. There is improvements to be made in it, as we've suggested, but for the bulk of the team, it is brilliant. And what's crazy is 2 of the suggestions are 2 of the 4 most expensive players that you could just replace with cheaper inputs and still have an absolutely insane team. So depending on how you would want to run this team, you could definitely get it for cheaper than the 330,000 coins that you would get it on Xbox and the 470,000 coins that you get it on PlayStation. But guys, there you can see it, 7 goals, 2 assists for Dembele in the 4 Division 1 games. Fantastic return from him. I want to thank you guys for watching the video today. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.